Kyle, I mean, we haven't talked to you since day one of spring ball. What do you feel like has been the biggest improvement of this team and specifically this offense this spring?
I think overall the team, the toughness. I think the level of intensity of practice has raised a lot, which has been good. Really good competition, offense and defense. And I'd say for the offense, just getting the timing down, the communication I think was a big piece of it. And I think right now we're getting to a point where we're rolling and things are going pretty smooth, but obviously it's still a lot of room for improvement.
Is there a specific moment from this spring where you really felt things click in for this offense? You're like, okay, we're getting things done here?
I would say probably late in that first week. Probably practice 5 or 6 is when we really started to get things going. When we were just more consistent. I think that's the biggest thing. Early on, we would have big plays and then go backwards or whatever. But I feel like now we're hitting at a more consistent rate.
Get your first dome experience Saturday night. How exciting is that?
No, I am excited. Just talking to everybody, teachers, some of the people just around the program, they're all saying they're going to the game, they're excited for it. So I think the buzz is definitely at an all-time high. So I'm looking forward to it.
You've been around a program that expects to play at a national championship level for a while. How does the atmosphere and environment, intensity, and all that stuff that you've been through this spring here kind of compare to where you just were?
Yeah, I think Coach Fran, coming from a similar program like Georgia, he's brought that same kind of mindset, the same pedigree over here. And I was talking to some of the guys. Usually when a new head coach comes in, the older players leave. The guys that play go to a different school. And, they bring in a lot of younger guys. But this team, you look around, there's a lot of guys that have experience, a lot of guys who have won games. And so I think that, that level of play, that standard is still that high. And obviously, like I said, Coach Fran coming in has enforced that.
Looking on the other side of the field, Kyle, who are some of the defensive guys that have challenged you for the spring?
Yeah, I think obviously Fidel's been doing a great job. Guys like Justin Barron doing a great job, Marlowe, and then Devin Grant as well at corner. And, all the guys really, I think the first team, they're really playing as a unit. I'd say that's the biggest thing right now. You can tell they're communicating. They're putting in a lot of different calls, different blitzes, different coverages. So it's been good to see that every day in practice.
What have you seen from Carlos and Braden, and how have they improved throughout the spring ball?
A lot of growth. And, coming in, we're all on the same page, learning a new offense. And so being able to bounce ideas off of them, talk to them about how they see the field, how I see the field, it's been really good. And just seeing how they were practice number 1 to now, they definitely made some really big strides. And I think Coach Nunn's has done a great job coaching all of us too.
Is there a part of your game that you're focused on improving, from last season?
Yeah, I would say just consistency. That's the biggest thing. Just focused on being as consistent as I can, making the right play all the time. And then, if stuff breaks down, then, making a play down the field, whatever the case may be. But just keeping us on schedule, keeping the ball moving, because I think with the pieces that we have on offense, we're good enough to go score, as much as we want to. But I think just the consistency level has to be there, not only for me, but all across the board.
So I know players probably have different feelings about PFF numbers, but when you look at yours, clean pocket, your grades are among the best in the country.
Right.
Under pressure, you struggled among starting quarterbacks, according to their metric.
Yeah.
How accurate do you think that is, when you assess yourself?
Yeah, I think last year was good just to have a full slate of 12 games to go back and watch. And like you said, I think from a clean pocket, I was really good. And that's what I really worked on this offseason, throwing off platform, moving in the pocket, stuff like that. And I think going and watching film, watching myself last year and really understanding the areas that I needed to improve upon was huge. And obviously you don't have that experience going into last year when, you don't start 12 games. So I think, like you said, a lot of room for improvement there. And I think that's been an area definitely for me just to focus on.
Last two for Kyle so I can get into class.
On the offensive side, who would you say you've developed the most connection with so far after these first couple weeks?
I would probably say Zeed. Zeed's been really good. Trev's been really good. He's been a veteran guy who surprised me. He knows a lot of football. He understands leverages and stuff like that. And then Dan Villari's really come around too. I think this is his first real offseason as a tight end. So just to see his growth from practice 1 to now has been great.
Being from that Philly, South Jersey area, friends, getting so many players from there. What makes players from that Jersey area so special?
I think, honestly, it's just under-recruited. I think there's not a lot of big-time schools there, but the talent's all there. And I think you look across the NFL, there's a lot of guys coming out of that area now. And I think you look at the college football level, guys going to the draft this year and guys still in college that could have a big year. There's tons. And I think, obviously, Fran having that connection, it's going to become a pipeline here soon.
So are you a Springsteen fan, and are you going to the show?
Coach Dunn, I had no idea he was calling Coach Dunn, said something at the end of the meeting, so we'll see. See what he does.